Today we're in section 2.7, decimal operations and decimals with equations with decimals. And in this section, what they do is they combine some of the concepts like adding and subtracting decimals, whether they're positive and they're negative, and multiplying and dividing them as well. So, I kind of had this decision to make. Do we kind of go through how do you multiply decimals? You line up your digits. How do you add and subtract decimals? You line up your decimal. What I decided is it's not really as relevant. And if you're in honors, especially, you guys should know how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide decimals. Am I right? Okay. So, we're just going to use our calculators. So the first two examples today, really, it's just a matter of just working about in our calculators. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on these examples. Again, because I'm going to allow you just to use your calculator. Now, are you going to see a question on a quiz or a test? No. Okay, it's going to be all equations. But I think it's good that we review our rules for adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers. Like on example 1a, you have same sign or different? What do you have, guys? Same sign. So we're going to add and keep. So negative 2 9/10 minus 6 7/10 gives us negative 9 6/10, right? Same sign, add and keep. Or sorry, 9 4/10. Alright, so go ahead and solve B and C. Guys, so double negative changes to a positive, and now it's different signs. So it's important that you remember to change your double negative first. If you put your double negative into your calculator, it will make that adjustment for you. And what is your answer?
68.1.
No, what's your answer? 17 and 354 thousandths. Alright, so again, it changes to different signs. So the only reason you would make a mistake here is if you forgot to include your negative. Letter C, do I have same sign or different? Same. So I add and keep negative 28 and 42 hundredths. Alright, now in example 2, now I'm just multiplying and dividing my decimals, and so I just need to remember my rules. Odd number of negatives is a negative answer. Even number of negatives is a positive answer. Alright, what's the answer to A?
Negative 8.48.
What about B?
41.
Alright, what about C?
53.
What about D?
95.1.
Alright, good job. Okay, just a matter of inputting it correctly into our calculators and remembering our rules for positives and negatives. Now we get to example 3. This is what you'll see on a quiz or a test. Okay, solving addition and subtraction equations. Remember, I solve for the side that has the variable, and I need to get the variable by itself. So how can I get rid of positive 4 7/10? How can I get rid of it? I need to do the opposite. I need to subtract, and we need to show that step. You must show this step in order to get full credit. Subtract 4 7/10 from both sides. Now you can use your calculator. 3 5/10 minus 4 7/10 equals negative 1 2/10. Alright, what about B? How would I get Y by itself? Someone raise your hand and tell me. Alex?
You would add 6.91 to
Yeah, because again, guys, you need these to cancel out. So you have Y by itself. Those cancel, and now you have Y by itself. Y equals 4 65 hundredths. All right, go ahead and do C. What did you do? Did you add or subtract 3.2? Subtracted it. What'd you get? 10.45. Very good. All right, so that's it for example 3. Now in example 4, guess what? We're multiplying and dividing. Multiplying and dividing. All right, so now we again look at the operation that's connected to our variable, just like we did yesterday. So since it's multiplication, how do I get m by itself? I need to divide by whatever is connected to my m. -6/10, both sides. M equals 8.5. I want you to try B. See who remembers what we learned yesterday about what needs to be done to get n by itself. Okay, so what do you do to both sides? You need to multiply by -8. Whatever number is in the denominator underneath the variable, I multiply by its reciprocal. I flip it, put it over 1 to get the variable by itself. Multiply the other side by -8 and I get my answer. On C, I divide both sides by 3.2 to get to my answer. Who got it right? Anybody get it right? Good, good. All right, one more example. Example 5. It gives us a chipmunk example, ironically. All right, did you know that chipmunks hibernate? Did you know they hibernate? They do. They hibernate in the winter. Okay, so I actually made a mistake and I meant to hide this part from you so you actually already see the equation. However, let's make sense of it. It says when a chipmunk hibernates, its weight, what? Its weight what? What? Decreases. That's a key word. By about 31/100ths of a pound. After hibernation, the chipmunk weighs about 35/100ths of a pound. So here's what you need to remember when you're setting up an equation. Your total goes on one side of the equation. This is his weight after hibernation, his total weight. We know that it decreased by 31/100ths of a pound, but we do not know what his weight was initially. So that is why I set up the equation the way that I did. All right, and then in order to solve, I just solve it like a regular equation to find that his initial weight was 66/100ths of a pound. Okay, so I'm about to ask you to do one, and it's a matter of figuring out what operation connects them and what is your total. All right, so I want you to go ahead and work this classwork example. It's a money example. Go ahead and try to set up an equation and solve. All right. So if you are making a deposit, are you adding to or subtracting from your account? You are adding to your account. So X plus 122 equals my final balance of $286.59. You say, why is it plus? Because it's a deposit. If it was a withdrawal, it would be subtraction. Then we subtract 122 from both sides to figure out what our balance was before the deposit. 163.65. And guys, doesn't that make sense? Right? That it was lower, I put more money in, so it ends up being 286. All right? Now, a couple other things that will help you with your homework tonight. We've got more of these problems. All right? Where it tells me that the perimeter is 25 meters. All right? The only difference between this and the problems you've done before is that this is decimals. Are y'all good with that? Okay? You understand what I'm saying? So, how do you find perimeter? What do you do? What do you do? Add them all together. Add them all together. And then you solve for x, you subtract, and you get the unknown side length. All right? Look at it. Any questions there? What if, now I want you to work this one on your paper. What if I asked you to find the unknown dimension now? What formula are you going to use? 1/2 base times height. A equals 1/2 base times height. Go ahead and solve that one. All right, make our substitutions. We simplify this part first. We can multiply that. All right, now we divide both sides by 3 4/10, and then we're going to round our answer to 4 2/10. It's like a really long decimal. All right, round our answer. All right, guys, so that's pretty much it for 2.7. All right, so we're just solving equations same way that we did in the previous sections, except now it's just with decimals. And that's everything for this whole unit. So 2.7 is done. Chapter 2 is done. You'll have your quiz on Monday over this material.